as I said, today we're talking about 3 things to do before intermittent fasting. So this is for people who haven't tried intermittent fasting before or who want to pick it up again and haven't done it in a while. Perhaps you're going to skip breakfast and actually break your fast at noon with that first meal. Or you're going to eat dinner one day and wait for dinner the next day. Maybe you have an eating window, 16-8, 12-12. Remember that if you take any medications or wonder if fasting is okay with your medical issues, do ask your doctor or your medical provider if fasting is right for you. It sounds like one of those drug commercials, right? But do check in and make sure that's okay. So now, here are the 3 things that will make you more successful. And I'll tell you the last one is the hardest and the most important. Number 1, make sure you aren't punishing yourself with fasting. Fasting is never a punishment for being bad. We tell ourselves we're bad sometimes. It's not a mean consequence because you didn't eat well today, because you don't like how you ate today. It's never a punishment. Fasting is to be chosen and planned mindfully. And it sounds like this. I'm curious to fast, and I have chosen to fast tomorrow. And I'm planning the healthy foods I will eat during my eating window. If I sleep poorly the night before or don't feel well in any way, I will cancel this fast because I take care of myself. This is the mindset you want for a fast. That will set you up for success. Okay, number 2, plan healthy foods for the times that you aren't fasting. So this is really crucial because you need to nourish your body during a day or a week that you're doing some fasting because you're eating less often and possibly eating less food in general in 24 hours. Make sure you're getting protein, vegetables, and fruits during your eating window, possibly whole grains, a little fat like olive oil or some avocado, some nuts or nut butter, all during your eating window. Avoid processed foods and fried foods because these cause inflammation. If you eat processed foods and fried foods that cause inflammation, you'll be working against the goals that you have for fasting. And then you also won't feel well either. And it may not show up till the next day, but you want to feel good during this process. So if you're fasting for health or weight loss, eating inflammatory foods will not help. So this is my most important tip and maybe the hardest, but you don't hear this one all that often. I recommend that you detox off of sugar and bread before you take on fasting. I'll tell you why. Because if you're eating really healthy, where you don't have things like processed sugar and a lot of bread, you'll have this nice glucose curve with your meals. And then things will get quiet and you will feel well when you're not eating. Now, when we eat sugar often, and even when you're one of those people who says, I just have a little bit here and there because you have a piece of candy in your office and you have some in the car and some in your purse, you get these glucose spikes and insulin spikes. And as they drop, you don't feel well. So if you have time where you're fasting, your blood sugar is not going to be nice and level and low. You will feel poorly and it will make it hard for you to succeed at the fasting. So if you want to detox off of sugar and avoid bread or reduce bread with its inflammatory processed flours, it's going to take about 5 to 7 days. You may feel poorly. Plan for this. Your energy can drop. You might have headaches. You may feel hangry some of the time. You may crave sweets and processed carbs. It may feel like an emergency in your brain. So this is actual withdrawal. These are addictive substances, and that's why food companies put them in their foods for you and me. So be kind to yourself. Hydrate well while you're withdrawing. Rest. Plan to get a little extra rest. And eat healthy foods. And then you will feel better faster. But I'm not joking. 5 days, maybe 7 days to withdraw. And you will feel better and you will notice the cravings go away. And then attempt your fast. If you're having withdrawal when you're not eating, you will wonder why other people can do fasting and you cannot. And it will really be just because you have too much added sugar when you eat, and probably breads that have very highly processed flours. So those are my 3 important things to do before intermittent fasting. Have the mindset very thoughtful, careful, kind, no punishing. 2 was planning foods for them to be very healthy during the times when you're not fasting. And number 3, really get off of processed sugar and breads, which usually have very processed flours, before you attempt this. So I wish you great success in your fasting. If you have friends who have had trouble with fasting, please share this podcast with them and subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel so that you don't miss an episode. And please give the podcast a 5-star rating so that more people can get this good, nourishing information about healthy weight loss. Thanks for being here today. Bye-bye.